pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to take just a minute to congratulate our newly elected people here in the city. Councilmember Moreau, our new treasurer Donald Shoemaker, and our new commissioner of the revenue, Lucy Pullen. Congratulations. All right, right now is general public comment. Is anyone signed up for public comment? Nope. Anyone here for public comment? Nope. Great. We do have an email that was sent in for public record. We will include that on the website. First up is introduction of our new events coordinator.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so I wanted to introduce Grace Mangino. She is our new events coordinator, started Monday, had yesterday off, so she's only actually been here 2 days, but she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and make herself available for questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Carl. I'm a little soft-spoken, so sorry, I'm going to get close to the mic. Well, yes, I'm Grace Mangino, new events coordinator. Super happy to be here. Thanks, Carl. And I have come from a nonprofit background. I just worked for a nonprofit serving teen parents pursuing their college degrees. And so I was with that organization for 5 years. So in that spot was doing a lot of their community events, their annual conference. They launched 3 new sites, so in various states now. And so I got to see a lot of growth under that organization. And so I love community, I love events, and so super excited to put those things together for Manassas Park. I also have a background in political science and a master's in public administration, so just from a background in that sense. And then on a personal note, I've lived in Virginia for about 13 years now, went to Virginia Tech, and lived in Northern Virginia. My family's throughout Southwest Virginia, and I've lived in Northern Virginia for 5 years. I'm technically in Vienna, but super excited to be here, and everyone's been super gracious, so I really appreciate it. So thank you. Any questions? Or?
Welcome.
Yeah,
we can't wait to put you to work.
Thank you.
Any questions? Start this way.
Welcome to Manassas Park. Glad to have you, and go Hokies.
Yeah.
No, welcome and congratulations and thank you.
Yeah, excited you're here, and the events are going to be created. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
I think we're saving the questions, the real hard ones, for the second meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it. Well, thank you all so much. Very nice to meet you.
Thanks for being here. All right, next is our presentation from Dominion Energy, presenting on the recent railroad arm issues. Calvin.
Good evening, Mayor Mensing, Vice Mayor Moore, members of council, residents, staff, and guests. I'm Calvin Odell, the Director of Community Development. Some people are aware, many people are aware, we have had an issue with the railroad crossing arms at the railroad crossing of Manassas Drive for many, many years. For the past several years, we've been documenting those between a joint effort between the police station and transportation program. We've actually been tracking those and making sure that Norfolk Southern was aware of them and that they had answered to them or intended to answer to them. I want to say about 7 to 8 months ago, we had another failure at the arm staying down, blocking traffic. We contacted Norfolk Southern, and Norfolk Southern sent a technician out to the tracks who met with staff. I was there for the meeting, and it was the first time that I had heard from Norfolk Southern that they had actually been tracking a stray voltage issue that they believed to be causing this problem for nearly 15 years. But they had said that recently, on the recent incident, that the stray voltage they were tracking had increased, which they felt put their equipment ultimately at jeopardy. We were also lucky enough, because Dominion is doing their transmission line upgrades, to have representatives of Dominion Dominion Power there to join that meeting, hear what Norfolk Southern had to say, and sort of derive a plan to do some preliminary testing. The voltage had spiked, according to Norfolk Southern, the voltage had spiked in right at the same time that Dominion had upped the voltage on the transmission line that runs parallel to the tracks through this area. I don't get into the actual investigation. That's why Rob Mason from Transmission Operations Engineering is here tonight for Dominion Electric to sort of tell you the investigation that they've been conducting and why and what they think that might lead to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rob Mason. I'm with, as Calvin said, I'm with Dominion Energy's Electric Transmission Operations Engineering Group. So essentially, my key job is the reliability and safe operation of all of our electric transmission infrastructure north of the James River. So we got involved in this in July, as Calvin stated, with some of those more recent incidents. We've been working with Norfolk Southern. The first incidents in July do appear to have correlated with larger power flows down the transmission line that runs, I guess, right across the building behind us somewhere. So we've been working with both internal resources and some external specialists on an engineering study of exactly, so that we can model it. You know, one of the things that I was taught early in my career is you don't really understand a problem until you can turn it on and off at will. So that's what we're trying to get to through some engineering models to determine exactly what's causing this. And then once we understand that, then we can understand the best way to go about a mitigation solution. So right now, that preliminary study from our consultant is expected to be completed likely by the end of next week. And we've already are in discussions with them on as soon as that's done and that model is validated, especially with some of that testing data that we collected back in August when we came out here with Norfolk Southern representatives, and we're able to do some good testing and collect some measurements both on the rails and on the power lines at the exact same time. So once we have all that and that model is accurate and representative, we're going to roll immediately into working with that consultant on designing a mitigation strategy so that we can make sure that whatever's going on with the power lines, that they're not having any adverse effects on the rail crossing.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Did Norfolk Southern let you know prior to recently that they were tracking these power spikes?
The first I had heard of it was back in July when I believe the City of Manassas Park reached out to our construction team with some of those issues.
Okay, thanks. And then just one question. There's this thing going online with the data centers. Are the data centers causing it?
The data centers are not causing this, but the data centers are causing increased load flows. The larger loads that were going on during back in July, when we saw this correlation, were because there's a second set of transmission lines that runs west up through Manassas and up towards Loudon. Those were out of service for some upgrade work on that end, and so all of the power through this, Manassas Park area was coming down this one transmission line. So it was a abnormal state for our system. It wasn't the way we typically would want to operate it, but we had to do it that way so that we could complete those construction projects.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any comments, questions? Start down with Hasib.
So, I mean, the line that it comes from your Dominion Energy, right? Not Novec, because
Correct.
Novec does the whole city. So how far does the railroad power go into the Prince William side? Is that what it is?
So this transmission line starts at our Clifton substation, which is just east of Bull Run, the Bull Run crossing.
I see.
We basically parallel the Norfolk Southern Railroad once we cross the tracks, I guess on the eastern edge of Manassas Park. And we basically run parallel with the rails all the way pretty much into Manassas, where our line kind of turns off and terminates in the substation there, and their railroad keeps going. So it's a majority of this transmission line runs in the same corridor with the railroad.
From Clifton, right, you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who actually owns this railroad? Is it Northern Suffolk, CSX, or
The rail is owned by VPRA now. The
VRPA?
Virginia Passenger Rail Authority bought it.
VPRA, yeah.
Yeah.
So they own it. So have they been briefed on the situation, or what? I'm just trying to figure
I'm not
out
sure. We've
what's
been
the
working
city's responsibility on this.
I've been working with Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern was the ones that we worked with both during some of the early measurements as well as when we did some of the testing and collected the data back in late July, early August, at the crossing right here.
So Norfolk Southern is maintaining the maintenance, so the crossing arms for the next year or two is part of the agreement when VPRA bought it.
So they're essentially responsible,
Yeah,
V.
for a little while longer.
VPRA.
Norfolk Southern is responsible
Until
for the
they
gates
transition.
until it transitions.
So do they have an action plan, or, I mean, do we get a
Not
briefing from them?
I believe we asked them to come and
Okay.
they didn't.
All right, I mean, that's fine, I mean, thank you.
No questions for me, thank you.
Yeah, no questions from me either. Thank you for your report, though.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you for your diligence.
We appreciate you coming out.
Yes.
That was really great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, consent agenda. Tonight, the consent agenda includes approval of the minutes from October 21st, 2025, the appointment of Kevin Moreau to the NBTA Planning Coordination Advisory Committee and COGS Region Forward Coalition, and to amend Chapter 25 of the City Code of the Code of the City of Manassas Park to modify the point in time at which availability fees become due for new water and sewer taps made into the city's infrastructure. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Legislative priorities.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we've met on this topic now a couple of times, and so this is the coalescence of everything we heard. We tried to get it down into digestible form on one page, and that's what I have before you, also to kind of make it, look nice and professional and whatnot, so that when we shop it around, people recognize it. I do want to note that we also will run a second document that'll basically be a bill list as the bills are introduced and are interesting to you, and whether you're opposed or support them. That will go with this, but that will be a living document. So right now, this is our last shot at putting together a draft legislative priorities agenda for you, and so you can either adopt this tonight or talk about it, and we can bring it back to you again or make changes as you desire.
Any, let's say, any changes, concerns, or are you okay with adopting it?
I move to adopt it.
I move to adopt it, or second.
Okay,
Is that
so
the
we have a motion and a second to adopt it. I should probably read the motion. Okay, so Councilmember Cyberling moves that the governing body approve the attached legislative agenda and send to our state representatives for consideration during the General Assembly session beginning on January 14, 2026, and as well to our federal lobbyist, Merchant McIntyre. We have a motion and a second.
One comment.
Yes, a comment.
Anyone else? Okay. Carl, I love the format. This
thank
is the first time I've seen it done laid out like this, and it's just fantastic.
Thank you.
And I think it's very professional looking, and yeah, I just appreciate that we've done this. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes, we kind of skipped you.
No, we're good.
Kevin? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is a resolution to amend the ADU WDU policy.
Thank you. So, yeah, we talked about this a little bit. You, in September of 2024, adopted the Affordable Sustainable Housing Policy, which includes provisions for affordable dwelling units and workforce dwelling units be carved out of any development that is built on any part of the property was something we used to own or something we contributed to the project. And we've now been implementing that policy since early this year, and have discovered that there's a big issue, and I'm going to skip through the slides here to get to that. Before I get into it, just to let you know that the ADUW program is settled in DSS, and these are the people that work on it. It is under Director Randy Knights and Supervisor Tasha Wright, but Alejandra Tomjanovich is really the person that runs the program, so she's the one that answers the phone, gets all the emails and whatnot. Primarily, they back each other up. Again, the program is designed to make home ownership affordable. I want to make sure we focus on the fact that it's ownership. When we talk about affordability, we often think of apartment complexes at lower rents or even subsidized through Section 8 or whatnot. That's not what this is. This is about creating an opportunity for people to build wealth that maybe early on in their careers are not in the highest earning jobs. And so that's what this program is designed for. As it sits right now, the only people eligible for the WD program are teachers, police officers, and dispatchers, firefighters, and EMTs, and social services staff that work for Manassas Park. Those professions, those classifications tend to be in the higher end of the pay scale, so none of those people qualify for the program unless they have like 7 kids, and then, you know, maybe they will, because the AMI slides depending how big your family is, but in general, the pool is not very deep. This is the program eligibility. You must be a first-time home buyer, and you must be able to, you have to go to a class and pass about being a first-time home buyer. You have to have a FICO score of at least 620. You can't have your parents co-sign the loan for you, or anyone else for that matter. And you have to be below 80% area median income. And then there's some other things you have to do, including putting $2,000 down as earnest money at the time of signing the contract, and then have the down payment of 1%, which could be anything from $500 to $6,500, depending on which unit and how much it costs. So far, here's what we've been seeing. We've had a number of applications submitted for the ADU program. And we've had applications submitted for the WDU program, but again, the people didn't qualify for the program based on the criteria on the previous slide. Reasons for not getting the approval: the most common, over income on the right side. They make too much money, and then we have some other the other criteria as well. But the most common one is they make too much money. We have 2 ADU units. And both have been found eligible families. The first one, 267, is closed. That's done. That was a success. Lot 213 is in closing. So it may have closed since I made this slide, or since Randy made this slide. And then of the 2 WD units, we've had 0 eligible applications, and that's as of last week when we locked the agenda up. So what we're recommending is that we expand the WD eligibility to all city employees, regardless of what their job classification is. Because of the financial criteria, it doesn't really matter if they're, parks maintenance worker or, one of the administrative staff that sits at the front desk. They are city employees and have, may want to pursue the same opportunity to build wealth and to own a house as anyone else. So that's the only recommendation we're making at this time. There's been a couple of other pain points that we haven't sussed out all the way yet, but for now, we have 1 unit that we're going to lose if we don't get an eligible applicant on it. And what that means, the way the program is written, is if we can't find an eligible applicant, then it reverts back to the developer to sell at market rate. So we're kind of coming at this fast because this needs to happen if you're agreeable, so that we can do the full court press tomorrow for all staff and try to get somebody interested and through the eligibility process. A lot of times people ask, well, what's everybody else doing? Well, this is what Fairfax, Prince William, and Loudoun County are doing. Us and Fairfax County are the only 2 that have a workforce dwelling program. The other ones have ADUs, and there are others as well, but just a note of fact. Just so you're aware, the DSS folk have done a great job of trying to find applicants and haven't had trouble with the ADU side of it. So going to work fairs, doing some of the other things aren't necessarily useful for employees because we know exactly who they are. We could send individual emails to the people that are on the criteria if we wanted to. So, but they have been making an effort to get the word out. And so this is the people running the program. And right now, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. And I still have Randy here to back me up on anything I don't know the answer to.
Thank you. Any questions? Start down to the left.
No questions, thank you.
No questions.
No questions.
Carl, thank you for the presentation. I just find this extremely enjoyable and fascinating that our city is leading Northern Virginia when it comes to affordable housing. The other things that you listed, they were all counties. We as a city are actually making low-income residents of being able to purchase homes. And like you said, Carl, it's wealth building, it's family building, it's transformational. and we are leading that charge, and so I'm just excited. But as far as this goes, will this include part-time employees and Parks and Rec and people like who are part-time or are not full-time?
I believe it will not. You have to have full-time income. If you're a part-time employee, you probably will not be able to qualify for a loan.
Okay, that probably makes sense. Can we convert, let's say we're running out of time like this one, we have the WDU, and we convert it to the ADUs, units.
We're going to the book to find out. I don't know where to find out right this second, but I don't know, but that may be.
It's probably not in the legislation now, but I'm wondering if we could tweak it at some point.
That
To
could be
say, we can't
a-
find any employees, so we're gonna move them to ADUs, because we don't have any problems looking at our residents who want these to buy these houses.
Yeah, that might be a great option, and I think our city attorney has some words
Okay.
to say, so.
Actually, the city manager, and you said it as well as I could have, which is you can't currently do it, but we can certainly look at that at a future iteration of some changes to this program.
Yeah, because we don't want to lose any of these. We don't want any of these units going back to market rate housing. So whatever we have to do, if it allows them to go into the ADUs, so our residents can then buy these houses, we should definitely make that happen. I think expanding it to all employees is a wonderful suggestion, and I appreciate city manager bringing that forward to us. Did I have another question? I think that's it. Thank you.
Well, just to add to your excitement, if this was it, right, this is all we had into the program, maybe we don't get too excited about it, but we have several more coming. And
Yes.
so we need to get it as tweaked as possible before we can, just to make sure we're casting the biggest net we can, so.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, that was an excellent question about the conversion, because I had the same one. The second question I have is the under income 20%. What does that mean if it's under income?
You have to have a FICO score of 620.
Okay,
and so
it's one of the
probably-
other criteria, either they don't have the 1% savings or the down payment,
Right.
or the credit score is not, okay, understood. All right, I believe that's it, thank you.
Yeah, you have to be able to commit to paying back the loan, just like anyone else does, and they have to have, they underwrite it the same way, so.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this to attention. I think it's I'm supportive, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that was my next question. Like, say we expand it to other city employees and to the residents, which is an awesome idea. The second part is qualifying for the loan, right? So even if they get through the application and say the loan gets denied, then what happens to the unit? Does it go back to the market, or can it stay for the next applicant?
Yeah, so the way the program is set up is if we have multiple people that are qualified, then we have a raffle to choose the
Okay.
person that gets it. If we end up with no one, then it does go back. But part of my thinking is if someone doesn't qualify for some reason, because we have so many of these coming down the pike, since they've expressed interest, perhaps we can sit down with them and talk about what they would need to do between now and the next time the application window opens to get qualified. But right now, that's not in place, that's just an idea.
Sure.
No, I'm just wondering if we have like a preferred lender type of thing that the city can partner with, kind of show them a vision.
Yeah, I don't know, we could explore that, I suppose, but, the criteria are the criteria, and
Yeah.
they're not gonna.
So there's nothing in the contract that's built in, there a time limit of how long it can be vacant for?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
there
why
is.
we're
Well,
hurrying.
I'm saying after the application process.
We have to have it under contract by the end of the contract period. So they can't just sit on it for 6 months and work on saving their down payment and whatnot. There's a process they have to go through, and there is a clock on it.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question? So just to piggyback on that, just get clarity for the public. So if the first person doesn't qualify, is there from the beginning, is there like a 1-year clause that it has to be under contract within a year? Does it go then to the second, third, fourth? Let's say a few people don't qualify. Does it just restart the clock, or?
If somebody is found, if more than one person is found to be qualified, and we do the raffle, and they go through the process and somehow drop out at the end, or one last, maybe they get cold feet, who knows, then we can go to the next person. But all of the qualified people will be in the pool at the same time.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, does the developer say, this is 6 months, we have to have this under contract and closed? And if the first person it take a month for it to fail or to be denied the loan, And then the second one, let's say there's 5 of those and we don't meet it within that time period, does it automatically go back? Or do we get the ability to?
Well, we have some flexibility. I gotta say Stanley Martin has been awesome at this, and they've given us a lot of flexibility on this, but technically there is a drop dead date, and if we can, they don't care how we do it. You know, as long as we
Right.
sell it to somebody, it doesn't matter how many iterations we go through. But they have given us some leeway on these, but at the end of the day, there's a date at which we can no longer try.
Okay.
And it just goes back to them.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Moore?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple more questions that I forgot. Marketing, how are we marketing? I saw that we have it on the webpage of DSS. Hopefully we can put it on our main webpage, because this is so important.
Yeah, we can. Again, we're not having trouble with the ADU piece, so internally, we can send emails. Like I said, we can target, well, we did target the small groups that were originally available, but
Yes.
now we can blanket the entire city with information about the availability.
The other part, for future, 'cause like you say, pointed out, Mr. City Manager, we have some more ADUs and WDU coming down the pipeline. What about the city offering classes, you know, how to buy your first time home or something like that? Randy's
think we
biting at
do.
the bit. Come on, Randy.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, Randy.
Good evening, Randy Knights, DSS Director. How is everyone?
Very good, thank you.
Great.
We partner with the Prince William Cooperative Extension, and they offer free classes to Manassas Park citizens. We also refer to HUD that also offers free classes. So right now, I don't think there's a need necessarily for Manassas Park to run our own. We have great referral systems and connections that we haven't had a roadblock with that.
Fantastic.
Any other comments or questions?
Okay.
No?
Nope.
All right. The staff recommendation is that the attached resolution be approved, amending the committed attainable for sale housing options policy to expand eligibility for the WDU housing program to any city employee that is qualified under criteria established by the policy.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And now we are up to the tax extension. Is that correct? Okay, good.
Thought I might still be up. Steve, you can turn the screen off. So we extended the due date at which time penalties could be imposed for submitting your tangible personal property tax to the city to December 5th. It appears that the taxes are not going to go out in time to make that work. In fact, they'd have to have gone out today in order to give everybody 30 days to prepare to pay for them. So we are recommending extending the due date again. In your packet, it says extended to January 5th. And then it was brought to our attention that that's actually the first work day of the year. And so when our newly elected Lucy and Dawn will get to work, we don't want them to have this scramble as the first order of business. So we're recommending that you amend the motion that's in the packet tonight to extend it to February 5th. 2026, at which point no penalties or fees will be assessed to any tangible personal property tax paid in full by February 5th.
Comments, questions, starting this way?
No.
I like the baptism of fire that would occur in the commission.
I love you too, Daryl.
Oh my gosh. Comments, questions?
That's okay.
December 5th is on a Friday. Is there a reason why we're not moving it to February 6th, which is also a Friday?
It's just always been October 5th, and so we've been doing it on the monthly 5th, but
Okay. I
doesn't,
was just wondering
doesn't
if
matter
it
to
was
me.
end of the week.
That would be entirely up to you. You have to amend the motion anyway, so.
Nope. Any financial impact at all?
Well, thank you, Lucy. Because we got real estate out on time, which is our biggest revenue source, our cash flow is gonna be fine, so
Okay.
no.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank
you, Lucy.
We'll do some things to defer some payments on things and work it out. It's very manageable.
Negligible. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, the staff recommendation is that the governing body approve an ordinance to provide an additional extension to February 5th, 2026, of the date on which the penalties will be imposed and interest will accrue for delinquent tax year 2025 tangible personal property taxes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And we are all the way at our second public comment time already. Would anyone like to make public comment? Okay. City manager reports.
Thank you. Yeah, the only thing I have tonight is that there's been some traffic, now that the VRV garage is open, about who owns what, who can go where and what, and these sorts of things. So, you know, during the construction phase of these things, the people involved are all construction people. They don't really think about the details and things after. Nobody really even considered who was gonna pick up garbage. Now, they ordered garbage cans and put them in place, but they didn't, the actual operational part of the garage wasn't really taken into account, which includes signs. And so we have had some problems with some people going up there and doing donuts and doing things they shouldn't do, which is not illegal. Unless they're creating a danger to someone else, you can maybe arrest them for reckless driving. But just in general, it's just nefariousness that we need to put some signs up that say, don't do this, which then gives us the hammer to be able to enforce some of these things. Along the way, some people have been talking about putting a gate on the first floor. So the first deck, the very first floor is we paid for that, we own that, that's for our use. And it was intended for multiple uses. It was intended as a place for people that are visiting downtown businesses to park. It was intended for people visiting City Hall to park. And in the evening hours, it was intended for some of the residents of Stanley Martin that live nearby to park. In fact, they cut a human gate or human entrance and exit into the north side of the garage to be able to accommodate that. So putting a gate on it would be, number one, very expensive, and number two, I'm not really sure how we would manage it. It'd be real easy to give employees access. We have our HID cards, we can do these things, and maybe even some of the regular parkers from Stanley Martin, but since the intention is to have it open and free to the public, right now a gate doesn't really make sense. We may consider it at some point, because there are situations where you have gates that have free access. You pull a tab or something and let you in. That way we can keep track of it, take a picture of your license plate, all these things. But I'd like to defer doing anything like that, again, just because of the cost, until we get a better idea of how big or if the problem is even going to exist. So right now, we're just going to get it properly signed and properly enforced and see if that fixes any of the issues.
Great. Thanks for that update. Do you have any more manager report?
That's all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Okay, wait.
Comments, questions?
I didn't understand the issue. Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry. What was the issue we're having? What's the issue we're having?
At night, people are going in there and doing things that they shouldn't. Mostly, we had, I think the second day was open, and some kids went through there, pulled all the fire extinguishers off the wall, and then hosed all the cars down.
Oh my gosh.
Again, it was not damage, it doesn't hurt the cars, but number one, we need the fire extinguishers to be functional and that sort of thing. And also, a gate probably wouldn't stop that, they were on
Right.
foot.
Yeah.
But we have also had people going in there on cars and, you know, flipping donuts and
Okay.
all sorts of crazy
Are
stuff
there,
like
are there
that.
cameras?
Yeah, we have cameras and we can see them doing this, but again, while the police were able to get the kids with the fire extinguishers, unless there's somebody else in danger, the flipping the donuts is not illegal unless we post, you can't do this, no loitering, no just things like that. So-
Right.
Okay.
And there are no signs currently, so.
Is there any noise? Like, are the residents complaining about
That-
the
that's how
noise,
we-
the lights?
That's how they found out.
Okay.
That's how we got the complaint. It's the people that live just north of there in the Stanley Martin 2/2s. But again, we didn't catch them, you know, so we'd have to be able to hear the noise and be able to measure it and say that it's excessive and
Is there-
all these things.
Is that a stop on their up patrol for the police? Are they now making it more regular?
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what's happening. And I think that, you know, this is a new thing added
Yeah.
to our downtown, and I think as a general course, patrol is gonna be required,
Right.
so.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any other comments, questions?
Good to know that donuts aren't illegal. I never knew that before.
Well,
yeah. Don't
if
say
you
that.
create danger for others, they're illegal.
He said it. Well, right, sure.
What was the plan for the operational side, for the trash cans and stuff?
We're working on that, because again, you know, we have no problem having our people pick up the trash on the first floor,
Right.
but I don't know that we want to pick up all the trash, but there may be some give and takes
Okay.
with other things with VRE that they help us with, so we'll figure it out.
Thank
Yeah.
Great. All right, we have closed meeting. The motion is that the governing body convene a closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1 to discuss personnel. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. We'll meet in the back room in 30 seconds because Michael needs to go home by 8. He goes to bed.